Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. All right, if loving you is wrong and have not fans, you know what? I mean, today we're going to talk about 5 more ways the two shows could cross over. Once again, shout out to Chandler Foster for helping me come up with these ideas on Instagram Live, and I will put links to his social media in the I'm going to make a comment and pin it to the top of the comment section. Easy way to find it: his YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Be sure to follow him on that. Sorry, I had a train of thought. Just a quick side note: did anybody else but me grow up watching, like Static Shock, Justice League Unlimited? I've been finding myself rewatching some of the episodes over the past couple of days, and it's just been a good time because those shows were so well written and they hold up well today. Even Batman Beyond. I know that's just a sidebar note, but I've just been thinking about that a lot. So sometimes when I've been talking to my friends, out and about town, I'm just talking like John Stewart Green Lantern. It's like, and yeah, I went to Walmart a couple days ago and just deeper voice. But anyway, just fun here. I actually recorded another video before this one actually about Justin and Eddie getting into a brawl. So I probably won't talk much about it in this video, but let's just start in no particular order. Number 5, what if Lucien and Derek met up somehow between the shows? I mean, when I say these shows crossover, I don't necessarily mean that all the characters have to interact within the same 42-minute spot. Obviously, there was a haves and have-nots, and if Loving You Is Wrong full-on crossover, it should definitely be like 2 hours or 85 to 90 minutes, whatever you want to call it, if you mash up 2 episodes. But I feel like Tyler Perry could definitely blow some minds just by having a couple of characters interact. That's all I'm saying. I mean, like, Justin, Eddie, Lucien, they're all police officers. Why not, have one or the other going to the other person's police station? And I mean, they could just be in the freaking background. That would have people chattering amongst themselves. And people like me would obviously make videos on it. Just giving confirmation that the two shows happen within the same universe would definitely spin some heads. But I just feel like when it comes to Lucien and Derek, they would definitely, I feel like they would get along well. Given the fact that they both seem to be good men. I mean, it seems like Derek obviously has a shady past, while Lucien, to my knowledge, doesn't have a lot of dirt in his past. I could be wrong about that, but I don't believe that's ever really come up. And if it has, I've forgotten because, well, that's what happens when the show hasn't been on for almost a year. I'm just saying. And with Derek, they're both dealing with, well, good Christian women who have a lot of drama in their lives. I mean, they're struggling to make ends meet, but they go about it the best way they know how. That's with faith, hard work, and determination. And with, both of them, they're dealing with a lot of kid problems. What, Joey got shot, Benny got hit by a car. I mean, I don't even need to go. There's not enough time in the day to talk about their children problem. But given the fact, they're men, they're trying to show their love and support to a woman who's going through a lot. So I don't really know what kind of conversation those two would have, but I feel like it'll be a very good one. I mean, given the circumstances, what if Lucien shows up to arrest someone? Remember that Veronica allegedly is going to try to send somebody after Derek, which is a dumb idea if she calls somebody on the list that Derek gave her, so he would kind of know what to expect. But we'll just have to wait and see, just throwing that out there. Number 4, kind of piggybacking off what I just said before. Why not have Hannah and Natalie meet up sometime? I mean, why not in church of all places? The only time we've seen Hannah physically in a church, and correct me if I'm wrong, was at the Little Lizzie funeral. We saw Hannah there, which I believe it was established that was her church she always goes to, because Reverend Waters said, one of their, dedicated members, Hannah Young. And then also we had, remember that was the Little Lizzie funeral, so Jim, David, Veronica, and Catherine were there as well. And in season 1, I remember Benny waking up Hannah so she can go to Bible study. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the only time we saw her in the church was in season 2 at the Little Lizzie funeral. We can assume that Amanda's funeral was at a church as well because of the fact that we only saw everyone coming out of the cemetery. I don't really know what they did. I mean, they could have had a church service. I don't know. I just know we only saw them coming out of the cemetery, so that kind of sucked because I was really hoping for a full funeral service. I mean, or the entire service could have been conducted in the grave. I don't know. I don't know, people. We just don't know. So with that being said, we only saw her in that, but I can imagine, Hannah and Natalie meeting at a church somewhere or something like that. Hey, what if this? Wow, I know that sounded bad. What if Derek was going to invite Hannah to his church, right? And also, I believe that Hannah said, I think it was the day it was the day they went on the date to see Stephanie Mills, and it's like, I want to go to church with you tomorrow. I'm like, well, it's choir practice, Derek, so I don't want to, people don't like to see him practice, so come on Sunday. So I imagine, because I do believe that Derek did invite Hannah to his church. I forgot the name of it, if he even mentioned it, because we know he's a deacon. Why not have it that Derek's church is also the church that Natalie attends? So once again, you could save those two. What if Natalie and Derek are just friends? They're friends. Like, hey, Natalie, meet my, my good friend Hannah, or Hannah, meet my good friend Natalie. Once again, a small way of connecting these characters, and they can instantly click because of their kid issues. So I'm just saying. And then we get to, and this is a good one. This is a good Chandler coming up with this one. Mama Rose and Julius's father. We got Mama Rose and the Malones. Julius, I forgot his last name, but I do know, he was the next in line to establish the drug cartel or whatever you want to call it because his father died. But he knew that Julius was too much of a hothead to, let things go, the whole Eddie situation. But I feel that it will be very interesting. There's no telling what could happen. Like I've been saying in these videos about the Malone and spin-off series or movie, I always said it would be cool if you have like backstory or establish there was a rival family. What if the Malones had dealings with Julius's family before? Maybe things didn't go over too well. Maybe there was a time when Julius's father and Mama Rose had a little love thing, but it didn't work out, and then that caused, a gang war. Again, so many ways these characters can interact with each other. I'm just saying that Tyler Perry has so many, it's like puzzle pieces. And not to sound like Veronica. It's kind of like, the pieces fit so well together. And you don't even have to have full-blown crossovers. You can have a couple of characters talking with a couple of characters. A couple characters of one show talking with another character from another show. You can even mention people. Like talk about the Malones and stuff like that. They don't have to be seen. They just have to be mentioned. Once again, that'll be enough to turn some heads. And I could definitely see the interesting dynamic between two cartel families like that. I mean, I'm just saying. So many opportunities. Then we get to number 2, which is the Kelly and Catherine scenario. If they both meet in jail, because it's possible that Catherine will be going to jail. And we do possibly see her in what looks like to be jail attire. And I already did a video on that in season 7. So you can imagine her being in jail and then Kelly still being in jail. And, let's say they meet up together in the same cell and they talk. And, she's in jail for shooting her boyfriend or crazed stalker, however you want to call it. And then Catherine's in jail for shooting her, shooting the DA. Both are murderers. Now, with that being said, maybe the conversation will come up. I'll also try to take my life. And then, Catherine could talk about how her daughter attempted to take her life, allegedly, because we don't know if it was homicide or suicide, even though I'm pretty sure it was homicide. Catherine could say, my daughter used to be like that, suicidal, and now she's gone. Maybe those two could have a moment. And heck, Kelly not having a good attorney, maybe Catherine brings up Veronica. Who knows? I mean, like Catherine says, sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. And the fact that she is the best. So I could definitely see an interesting dynamic if Veronica was to help out Kelly get out of jail. I mean, I'm just saying the possibilities are endless with that. And just the interesting dynamic of seeing those two in a cell together. I could definitely see Catherine giving Kelly some encouraging words of empowerment too. That would be a very interesting scene, especially with Catherine Cryer just being a showstopper with her monologue sometimes. I could definitely see the dynamic between those two going over pretty well. And then we get to the number one. And like I said before, I'm briefly going to go over this. Just the fact that both Justin and Eddie have posted photos from behind the scenes where they look pretty banged up, like they've been in fights. I've done videos on both of these characters already. I even did a bonus video talking about what if Alex is the one that beats up Eddie. And, Chandler was like, what if Eddie and Justin get into it for whatever reason? Whether it be over drugs, what if Justin arrests Eddie and then tries to feel him up like he did Jeffrey, then gets his ass beat as a result? Who knows? But with that being said, I want to cut this video. It's 10 minutes in, but let me know, what do you think of these five more possible ways of If Loving You Is Wrong and the haves and the have-nots to cross over? What was your favorite one of the five? Let me know in the comments, were there any other crossover ideas that I didn't mention in the video that you think would work out in the long run? And if you liked the video, be sure to share it around, tag Tyler Perry, tag various cast members from both shows, because if enough of us make enough noise, maybe that'll finally happen.